Nicknamed the Crossroads of the World, Panama City is one of the most fascinating cities in the Western Hemisphere. I was able to visit Panama City a few weeks ago and was thoroughly impressed by this beautiful city. In this series, I briefly cover a city's history, population, skyline, as well as a few things that make that city unique. Now let's meet Panama City. I always like to start by exploring how a city wound up being where it is today. Panama City is located along the Pacific entrance to the Panama Canal, which runs through the isthmus connecting the American continents. The area had historically been the site of a fishing village, and then in 1519, the Spanish conquistador Pedro Arias de Avila founded Panama Viejo, or Old Panama. It was the first European settlement on the Pacific side of the Americas and became an important launching point for Spanish expeditions to conquer the Incas in Peru. The settlement of Panama Viejo, however, was sacked by the English pirate Henry Morgan in 1671. In the wake of that destruction, Panama City was rebuilt at a more defensible position about 8 kilometers down the coast in what is today known as Casco Viejo, which is today's historic and charming Old Town. Panama City's growth and global significance really exploded, though, with the construction of one of the 7 wonders of the modern world, the Panama Canal, in the early 20th century. Panama City has grown to become one of the most impressive cities on either American continent. It has a city proper population of around 480,000, but its metro population is about 2 million. Because of the global significance of the Panama Canal, the demographics of the city are more diverse than one might expect for a Latin American city. For instance, 200,000 Panama City residents are actually Chinese, which was something I did not expect when visiting there. 55% of Panama's GDP comes from Panama City, and the economy, as you can imagine, is largely tied to the Panama Canal. Call me shallow, but when it comes to cities, I think appearances matter. Panama City has a beautiful skyline. It's without question the most impressive skyline in all of Latin America. I made a video over a year ago ranking the best skylines in North America, and I made the mistake of not including Panama. However, if I made that ranking today, I would rank Panama City as having the 6th best skyline on the continent, falling just short of Seattle and just ahead of Miami. Panama City's skyline actually strongly reminds me of Miami's skyline for a few reasons. One is that most of the skyscrapers along the ocean are of a lighter color, and both skylines are new, with most of their skyscrapers having been built in the last 20 years. If you took the average height of Panama City's tallest 5 buildings, it would be ranked as the 5th tallest skyline on the continent, being shorter than Toronto and taller than Los Angeles. The tallest building in the skyline is the curved JW Marriott at 284 meters. My favorite building in the skyline, however, is the twisting F&F Tower, which has the nickname of the Screw. When it comes to things that make Panama City unique, I have to start with the Panama Canal. The Panama Canal is considered one of the most amazing feats of engineering in history, and its impact has been felt by most of the world over the past century. Opened in 1914, the canal is the world's greatest shortcut, allowing ships to travel between the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans without having to go around South America. The canal works by raising ships through a series of locks until they are about 26 meters above sea level, so that they can sail through Gatun Lake toward the other side of the isthmus. It's certainly deserving of being regarded as one of the modern wonders of the world. The Panama Canal isn't the only thing in Panama City that garners international praise, as the city has 2 areas designated as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The first is the original Panama City of Panama Viejo. As I mentioned earlier in the video, Panama Viejo was the first European settlement on the Pacific Ocean. At one point, it was a thriving settlement, but was eventually sacked by the pirate Henry Morgan. Many of the ruins are still there today, including the bell tower and the cistern, which I thought was fascinating. The other UNESCO World Heritage Site is where the people of Panama Viejo relocated to, and that is Casco Viejo, which is about 8 kilometers west. Casco Viejo is considered Panama City's Old Town today. It's a beautiful, historic neighborhood with colorful buildings and cobblestone streets. It's the cultural heart of Panama City and has great restaurants, historic cathedrals, as well as the President's Palace, the Panamanian equivalent of the White House. Off of the Central Plaza, there is also the Canal Museum, which is a fascinating museum showing the history and global significance of the Panama Canal. Another interesting museum in Panama City is the eye-catching Biomuseo. This colorful museum focuses on the isthmus's impact on the planet's biodiversity, being that it is the bridge between two continents. The museum is located on the Amador Causeway, which is a narrow causeway stretching into the Pacific connecting 4 different islands. Another unique road in Panama City is the Cinta Costera because it bends over the ocean and around Casco Viejo. It makes for a beautiful drive or bike ride, but it's also far enough away from Casco Viejo for it to be disruptive to the Old Town. Panama City is the only capital city in the world to have a rainforest within the city limits. Known as the Metropolitan National Park, it is 53 acres large and is home to abundant wildlife, including over 220 species of birds. And lastly, I'll mention something that I personally haven't seen in any city I've visited, and that is a zip line on the top of one of the city's high-rises. It's without question the scariest zip line I've ever done, and it's located at what is called Point Panama, where they have other attractions. Well, that wraps up my video about Panama City. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and check out some of my other videos about cities. Thanks for watching.